Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is today in 47 days. I'm on my way to the Spring of Wisdom now, finally getting that, making our way to 95%, can you imagine, on the percentage meter in the bottom left. Naydra? Wait, Naydra? Wait, what? Wait, do you guys see this? Wait. Is Naydra on the mountain but not corrupted? This is not a planned recording. Or was that just a visual error? Wait, what is this? Do you see this?
It is my pleasure.
I've never seen this. Why is Naydra chilling on the mountain but she's not corrupted? Like, I want to go there, but I don't want this glitch. Oh! No, I know why. Sorry. I, like, confused myself so much. That is so cool. I don't want to change this. For some reason, I've never thought about this, but you can actually free Naydra and then just not shoot her. And then she's gonna be like this, but uncorrupted. This just really confused me. I guess previously in this series, we've actually freed Naydra, but then we didn't do the shot to get the scale. I have never, ever actually done this before. Also, Link is really suffering right now. And I'm gonna keep it like that. Because I should already have a scale from Hyrule Castle. This is the one I'm gonna use instead, and I'm gonna have Naydra just chill here. I actually absolutely love that idea, and for some reason have never had that happen. Because usually I don't free Naydra in like all shrine speedruns, or when I free her, I shoot her afterwards to make her start flying around the world. But this is exactly, I'm gonna keep the file. That's actually lovely. Anyway, maybe some of you have actually done this yourself. For some reason I have never made that connection and I was just really confused. Sometimes I forget what things I've done this playthrough and which things I have not. I needed to get this location. We're gonna be playing the game now. Okay, it looks like Naydra will just be sitting here. I'm just gonna make sure to not hit her with anything. And then make my way back to collecting more Korok seeds. Now, I do have a little bit of a topic prepared for today that I kind of want to brainstorm about. Which I feel like we've stopped brainstorming about collectively ever since we've gotten more Tears of the Kingdom footage. But exploring underwater was actually one of the most requested features for Tears of the Kingdom when it first came, well, not out, but when information about it first came out. People really wanted underwater exploration for this game. We ended up not getting it, so that was a very requested feature for the sequel. Now, once we've figured out that there's probably underground exploration and in the skies exploration, I think that topic kind of disappeared. But I personally still really want it in Tears of the Kingdom. Recently, I've actually been playing 7 Breath of the Wild clones that you may or may not have heard of. This was my most recent video on my main channel, and I'm going to be using that as inspiration for this video, because one of the games I played was Immortals Fenyx Rising. Now, I personally didn't have the best experience with Immortals Fenyx Rising when playing it. I know some people actually really like it, but I had some issues with crashes and stuff like that when playing, and ended up having to essentially quit because it just constantly kept crashing. But Immortals Fenyx Rising does give you the option to dive underwater and explore areas there, and I really liked it. I immediately remembered that people really wanted it in Breath of the Wild and potentially Tears of the Kingdom, and now I kind of want it too. I think in the past I was really shying away from underwater exploration just because of how many times underwater levels kind of miss the mark in video games. Let it be some of the original Mario games, let it be some other 3D platformers. Sometimes going underwater just doesn't really feel that fun. Now in Skyward Sword there were sections where you could swim underwater for like a little bit, and I think they were fine. They weren't really like a huge centerpiece. You can think of the Tut tones if you played that game, or even exploration around the... I mean, I wouldn't even call it even exploration in Skyward Sword, as it's much more linear and the levels are much more preset. But you know what I mean. I personally thought it was alright, but I think there's a huge potential for Tears of the Kingdom to make underwater exploration work. Now, the reason that is Tears of the Kingdom is using Hyrule as a base overworld and add new things in it. Look at this map. Look how many bodies of water there are. Lake Hylia. Some of the lakes here, Lake Floria in Faron. Some of the big rivers. The wetlands don't really count. These lakes up here. There's a big lake here in Akala that I feel like I've never really looked around. There's Skull Lake. There's the bog around the Great Hyrule Forest. The deep water here around Rito Village. All of these areas could have huge secrets that obviously are not in this game technically, but that the developers could just put in the Tears of the Kingdom for us to explore. Hidden ruins, dungeons, temples, God knows what. And I think it would be another really cool way to fill out the map. Now, how would exploration underwater actually go? That's obviously a big question. I thought about this a little bit, and traditionally it would just be Link diving down there. Maybe he gets some sort of device, Ancient or Zora, or even armor that allows him to essentially breathe down there as much as he wants, because I do not want to couple this with some sort of like oxygen mechanic where you can only dive for a little bit. Or if that is the thing, I at least want it to be super generous, kind of like Outer Wilds, like fuel and oxygen system where there's multiple ways to restock up your oxygen so that you can actually take your time down there and explore in potentially interesting underwater worlds. So those would be ways to make that work. Or, and this is almost the more likely version in my mind, to give us a literal submarine. I like how Tears of the Kingdom trailers made these incredibly silly sounding ideas when it comes to the Zelda series actually kind of sound feasible now. I feel like if I talk to you in the Skyward Sword area about the fact that I think there might be a submarine in a Zelda game, a lot of you would have been like, what are you talking about? Have you lost your mind? But after seeing literal cars, spaceships and flying machines in Tears of the Kingdom trailers and having a motorcycle in the past in this game, these ideas suddenly became more feasible and maybe not as ridiculous as they would have initially sounded. And I honestly think that might be one way to go about it. Basically remove the annoying potential oxygen mechanic and actually allow you to explore these big bodies of water like Lake Hylia with a submarine with some sort of light source, find hidden puzzles, hidden ruins, and find out more about the history of the kingdom. I think that would be lovely, and especially after now recently checking out a game with decent underwater exploration in the form of Immortals Phoenix Rising. Again, unfortunately, I can't really recommend the game personally because it ended up crashing for me so much, at least on PC. I actually want this now. Would be another way to make Tears of the Kingdom feel more like a full-on game instead of a glorified DLC, which is still many people's fear. But yeah, I quickly want to note this. I'm currently away. This is a pre-recorded episode again, so if there was any Tears of the Kingdom news in these recent days that I've missed, just know that I'm going to be talking about them on Monday, when it's 45 days until the game. But that's kind of what I wanted to throw out today. My hopes and dreams for Tears of the Kingdom's underwater exploration, which may or may not be a thing, and how that could go. Also a little bit of a Naydra appearance this episode, one that I had not planned. I did not know that that's actually a state that you can really achieve. I thought for some reason if you free Naydra and then just leave, at one point Naydra's just going to start flying around, but it looks like she's going to be up there on the mountain now forever, until one day I decide to shoot an arrow at her to make her start flying around in the world. And of course we get rain. I was gonna say, let me at least climb up here. These walls are incredibly steep to get that one Korok seed at the top of this wall. Oh, there is an updraft here. Actually, let me write that up. That's a much better point to end today's episode, so I can immediately continue next time. But getting more Korok seeds, we are now on 49.5%. We are so close to getting to hitting the 95% mark. Should probably be in the next recording. I just need to hit this one mid-air wind bomb. It is very windy, so this is going to require some precision, please. It did not work. Okay, I just have to believe in this one. Oh boy, this is actually a very typical thing that happens in speedruns. I like to say when it rains, it pours. I think no game other than Breath of the Wild makes this more apparent. If one thing starts going wrong, like suddenly it starts to rain, then your wind bomb will fail because of this. Now that your wind bomb failed, your other bomb is like sitting in the air somewhere. I think if there's any game that makes this statement true, it is Breath of the Wild. It can be incredibly hard. Yeah, it can just be incredibly hard to recover failed attempts at getting around. You know what? That's fine. I'm gonna sit down here at Tingle Island and start my recording here tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. Getting to 95% now. Enjoy the rest of your days. Peace.